Hi, I'm Dawn Schuler, Soulful Business Coach and Corporate Trainer and Consultant. For 17 years, I've worked with hundreds of entrepreneurs, businesses, and organizations to help them be more successful, more productive, and to continue the passion and purpose that they started their business or career with in the first place. See, I believe you can have it all. You can have a business that feeds your soul and is successful. The key to that is to run your business like a business. That's why I decided to do the Love Your Business Deeply 15-day challenge, where every day I'll share one tip, idea, tool, or resource to really help you be the CEO of your business. So let's get started. Hello and welcome to the 15th and final day of the Love Your Business Deeply Challenge. And thank you so much for those of you who have been following along and being part of the discussion through the comments or even in private conversations we've had outside of Facebook, for giving me feedback on how helpful the worksheets and the tools and the information I've shared have been. And kudos to you, because that's part of running a business, is you have to look outside of the work that you're actually doing and decide to commit to it and grow it and love it deeply. And it becomes something bigger than just you. And it certainly becomes something outside of you. And so I really celebrate that. And so congratulations, whether you've been in business for a minute or, 28 years, whatever it might be, I really celebrate you and say, I am so excited for you, and I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed. See, that's how excited I am. I can't even get the words out of my mouth. Today is, as I said, the final day of this 15-day challenge. And every day I've been sharing with you a tool, an idea, a topic, a resource, a way to think about running your business, perhaps in a way you've never thought about it before. And today, the final thing I want to leave you with is you get to do what you want. You get to design the business the way you design it. Nobody else tells you how to run your business. Now, and you might be saying, Dawn, haven't you been telling us for 15 days how to run our business? I've been sharing my information and my advice and my tools and tips and all of that. But ultimately, it comes down to it is your business, and you get to call the shots. No one can tell you what to do. And that means no one can tell you what rate you should charge. No one should tell you what hours you should operate. No one should tell you exactly how you should deliver your services. Nobody should tell you what you should name it or call it or whatever it is. I'm not talking about when you pay a coach or a mentor or you're part of a mastermind where part of what you're doing is you're reaching out for support, sounding boards. Think of a coaching program as your champion or your board of directors, your unofficial board of directors. That's different, because that's when you say, hey, here's this thing going on. Can you help me brainstorm a solution? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when people give unsolicited advice and tell you how you should run your business. Usually, that's coming from a place within them. In other words, that's all about them. That is not about you. That's about them. And I will share with you an interesting experience. One of the kind of the sub companies that I had years ago, probably back in, oh goodness, 2005? Boy, that's gotten to be a long time ago, isn't it? And hello, Erin. Thank you for watching live with me. I appreciate it. My company, or again, one of the kind of the arms of the company, was called Write Well University. And the tagline was, because writing poorly gets you nowhere. And there was a gentleman that was in my chamber, and he fashioned himself a business coach. I'm not sure why, but he did. And that's fine, because we all come from various experiences, and we bring this plethora of amazing skills and life experience and business experience. But he hounded me for weeks saying, you need to change your tagline, because he didn't like it. He didn't like, um, because writing poorly gets you nowhere. He said it's negative. You can't do it. And I was very gracious, and I said, thank you for the feedback. I like it. Well, have you done any testing on it? Have you done any focus testing? So I tried to graciously end that conversation. Over the course of the next 30 days, he kept coming after me to change my tagline. Now, not granted, he and I had never talked about doing work together. Never had he looked at my programs. Never had we had a conversation about whether working with me was something he wanted to do. And on the flip side, hadn't had the conversation about whether I wanted to coach with him. So where this came from, I don't know. What I do know, it was all about him. For whatever reason, that tagline poked at him, and it brought something up for him, and he didn't like it. So he projected that out on me. Who knows? And it was really interesting because I had somebody in one of my programs maybe a couple weeks later, and she said something like, I didn't say anything about this situation with this gentleman. And she said something like, I love your tagline. It was just the validation I needed. Not that I needed validation, but sometimes it's nice to get, right? But she's like, oh, I love that because you're so right, that you really need to be able to communicate and connect with people. And I couldn't believe it. And then you probably won't be surprised, but a few years later after that, when my first husband and I decided to separate and divorce, and he was a minister in his former career, and I don't know if he took it upon himself to help people whether they wanted it or not. But I guess he invited me out to coffee, and he said, you can't divorce him. You just can't divorce him. Now, he'd never met my husband. He didn't really know anything about our lives. He knew what he knew about my business and the fact that he didn't like my tagline. He knew that. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, where does that come from? Like, that arrogance of telling me in one instance what I should do with my business, and in another instance what I should do with my life. I really couldn't believe that. That was many years ago. If it were the dawn of today, I probably would have called him on it and said, I'm wondering what it is about my situation that's bringing something up in you. And I'm not necessarily interested in discovering that with you, but that's how it's landing for me. And the conversation's over. He may have thought he meant well, but that was not his place. And I see this come up, especially with a lot of younger business owners. I don't mean young in age, but I mean they haven't had their business for very long, and they get all topsy-turvy when they have a prospect or even a client say, you need to do this. You should do it this way. And then all of a sudden they start doubting themselves because they haven't had the experience of, well, no, this is how I do it. It works well, and I serve my clients well in this manner. And so, oh my gosh, and they go back and they change everything or they do it. But when you do it from that place as opposed to in here, like what you know is right and right for you, and, following that spark, when you do it because somebody else is telling you to do it, it's never going to end well. It's just not going to end well. And so just know that you need to be confident in yourself and in your business. And I know there are times where we're not. And, as we grow and evolve and adapt, and our businesses grow and evolve and adapt, we constantly have to do things differently. And so we're stretching outside of our comfort zone all the time. But that confidence comes from years and years and years, whether it's in the business we're in now or the professional career we had before we started our business, whatever the case may be. But don't let someone tell you how you should run your business, because it's your business. Doesn't mean, again, that people can't give you advice, especially if you've solicited that advice. The problem is when it comes unsolicited. because then you have to question why. What are their motives? What are they getting out of this? Why would they be doing that? So when it comes down to how you run your business, how you deliver your product or service, your standards and boundaries, go back to, I think that was either day 4 or day 5 when I talked about standards and boundaries. You get to do that. You get to create and design and determine how you run your business, because you're the one who has to run it, and you have to be in an integrity with that. If you're going to serve your clients and your customers to the best of your ability, then the way to do that is to be in as absolute integrity with yourself and your values and your higher power, source, whatever you want to call that. You've got to be in alignment with that and in integrity. Somebody else can't be in that integrity for you. So this last day of the Love Your Business Deeply Challenge, which is all about running your business like a business, is look at all these different things in all these different areas and what works for you. How do you want to run your business? And so that's what you need to do. And don't let anybody bully you or try to intimidate you into doing things differently. The last example I'll share with you was, so I moved, so I went from Write Well You into Writing from Your Soul and then Smart Business from Your Soul, because I got clear and clear about how I truly helped people. And so that whole smart business from your soul and marketing from your soul, that whole how do you connect with others? And there was a woman, and she just ripped into, you can't do that. You can't talk about marketing from the soul, and you can't, talk about sales pages with integrity. You can't do that. That just doesn't exist. It's a farce, and how dare you even do that? It was not long after that our relationship pretty much ended. She had been actually a very close friend for many years, and after a while, and I just said, she was a coach as well, and I said, is this how you would treat your coaching clients? And she said, no. I would ask them permission if I could share something with them. I said, good. I said, then that's how you need to treat me. And took her back, and so then she started doing that. Okay, may I share with you an idea? And there were times I'd say yes, and there were actually times I said no, because I knew that she was coming in a particular instance. I knew she'd be coming from that place of, it bothers me what you are doing, and so I'm going to call you out on it because it bothers me. And that wasn't for me. It was not mine to hear or mine to do anything about, because it wasn't my issue. And after a while, after I really stood in my power, that's what this is. That's what the quick topic is. It wasn't that I didn't know. I just didn't have the cool topic. It's about standing in your power. It's about standing in your power and saying, I'm figuring things out. We all are. We're all doing the best we can. We get better and better and better as we go along, and then we stretch and decide to do something a little bit bigger and scarier, and we do the best, and we get better and better and better, and it's a continuous progress and continuous movement. But stand in your power. Right now, I am very confident saying, I can help you run your business like a business. That is one of the things that differentiates me from other business coaches, is I focus on the how do you run your business like a business. If somebody else could be great at their piece or their particular slice of the pie, but I stand in my power, and that's what I want you to do too. Whatever you're doing, whatever your business is, whatever service or product you provide, be confident about it. Doesn't mean you know everything. It doesn't mean that you're 100% master or expert, but it means that you stand in your power and you say, this is how I'm going to do this. Get the information you need, get the advice, get the coaching, get the mentoring. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those unsolicited, you should do this and you should do that, and I don't like the way you do this. Remember, it has something to do about them, not usually about you. So thank you for watching, especially those of you who are watching live, and to those of you who are watching the recording, I hope you've enjoyed these 15 days. And if I can be of any help to you and you'd like to have a conversation, please don't hesitate to reach out and let's have that conversation and see if there's something that the two of us want to do together. Otherwise, again, I'm going to finish the way I started today, which is I celebrate you and what you're doing in the world, no matter what it is, because if you and I are connected, it's probably because we have some similar values about everybody wants to do meaningful work and have an impact in the world. And so kudos to you and your impact, and I champion you greatly. Take good care and go off and run your business like a business and run your life like a life. All right, take good care. Bye. If any of what I've shared here resonates with you and you want to chat about your business, let's have that no obligation conversation to see if there's something there. It may be just what you need to have the business of your dreams.